Hi, welcome to the Gateway Real Talk podcast. I'm Colin Murphy from Christian County.
I'm Cedrine Mallory from Hoptown High.
I'm Caitlin Bell from Christian County.
And I'm Caden Stacy from Christian County.
And today we're going to be talking about Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Monty Python and the Holy Grail is a comedy story about King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table looking across the land to find the great and holy artifact of the Holy Grail. The movie starts out as with King Arthur looking for his Knights of the Round Table as he has not successfully recruited anybody for this task. He recruits knights such as Sir Benevere, Sir Robin, Sir Lancelot, Sir Galahad, and Sir not appearing in this film. Now, then they, as a group, they collectively go to search for their most valiant quest, which is delivered by God himself in order to find the Holy Grail, being the great religious artifact that was in the Ark of the Covenant. With his now brave and loyal knights, King Arthur takes upon himself to go through the quest and deliver the Holy Grail to that of the people of England for glory and God. Going through, finding many of fantastical people and creature, they find the place of the Holy Grail and through a magnificent battle seek to find the relic for themselves. So, what did you all think of the movie?
I thought it was pretty good. It's a very classic movie.
Very classic movie?
I give it, I don't know. It's okay. It's not my style. I just didn't really like, I get it's, very old, but I just didn't get, it just reminds me, I'm flipping through a page in a book, even though I know there were some scenes where an actual book was being displayed, but I'm just talking about, the whole movie itself.
I have a thing about bad, quality. If I look at it and it's not, crystal clear, I don't want to watch it.
I agree with Citrine just because for what's supposed to be a comedy movie, I feel like for me personally, most of the jokes didn't land like they were supposed to. Or when they do find a good joke, it feels like they reuse it to the point where it just stops being funny.
Yeah.
I thought it was the funniest movie I've ever seen. I don't know what you guys thought.
That's a stretch.
They just overuse jokes on the same scene.
It's true.
Yeah.
Too many times.
You got examples?
The man kept cutting his limbs off.
The Black Knight scene, the most iconic scene of the movie.
He just,
for
and the
its
Black
comedic
Knight just
timing.
kept going.
That was the bit. The bit was, no matter how dire the situation, he just kept going and acting like nothing was wrong.
But I'm just watching. I'm just just let it go.
Yeah.
Just let it go.
But
that just didn't make sense. He was still able to move. I get it's a joke,
But it was just
make
a
it
flesh
up.
wound.
I know that was not just a flesh wound.
It was just a scratch. What are you talking about?
No, his whole limbs was cut off.
Fight.
No.
It just feels like the scene goes on way too long for what they were trying to achieve. Because I personally thought it was funny at first, but then as the scene drug on, it kind of lost its funny value. I get however you say that, but
comedic value.
Yeah, comedic value. There we go. What would you say?
I like that particular scene.
So do I.
The practical effects are really done well. It's a bit long for a scene in that movie,
Yeah.
but I think it's worth the time that they sunk into it.
I did like some of the effects they had on his limbs. There was little blood squirting out. I guess it just added to the feeling of him getting his body part.
Yeah, because
they did it as much as they can to make it look realistic, but in the given circumstance, it just doesn't look realistic at all. And I think it creates a fun little balance of actually trying to make it look real and being as silly and whimsical as possible.
Yeah, it's ha ha ha, this looks terrible.
Because if you looked at the scene, you just tap him on the shoulder, arm fall off.
Yeah, it wasn't really.
I want to know one thing that I hate. Okay, so I get it's an old movie and they use props to make something seem so far back. But there was a scene where this dude just kept running to go to the party. I know y'all know what I'm talking about.
It is good.
I know, But this is the thing. He just kept running, and they just kept looking.
They
and
kept using the same shot. If you
Yeah.
And
wanted
he just
to.
kept getting far back each time. I hate it. And then out of nowhere,
He just-
he miraculously gets right next to these dudes to go
That's the
inside.
bit, though. The
Yeah,
bit
that's
is
like-
subverts
No.
your expectations of
Yeah.
what an actual person running to a particular area should look like, to the point where it catches you off guard when he actually appears so quick. It sets up an expectation and then purposely reverts it. That is the entire point of comedy, in the sense
Yeah.
that it takes a
They didn't do a good
situation
job.
that you would think could go
Yeah.
one
They could
way
have just made it to
and,
where he's
does,
like
and
running
subverts
in
it in a different way.
place. I didn't like that. I
You
didn't
didn't like it?
It's like,
No.
hey, that doesn't make sense.
It was throwing me
Funny.
off
The
so
entire
bad.
movie doesn't make sense. That's where a lot of the humor comes from.
Yeah.
Because it's not just like one particular character, one particular scene that's weird. It's the entire movie
the entire
structure.
the cow falling,
Yeah.
It's
getting
a
being
weird
shot from a
world. It's a
freaking.
weird twisted version of medieval England in of
Yeah.
itself. And that's where all of the humor comes from. The fact that the world is consistently inconsistent.
Yeah.
And then miraculously making a horse rod boat thing, and then they gave it to the French as like a gift, like a
The
fake
Trojan
gift.
bunny.
Yeah, and then they were such idiots. I mean, they didn't go into like the thing of what they were supposed to do. They were supposed to be inside of it.
That's the point.
Yeah.
I know,
You know,
but like it's
you
just
know,
the
they're
part.
all three out on a hill, right? And it's the three of them outside, talking to Arthur, right? And it's just like, these three, we get into the rabbit, right? And then we jump out of the French at night. Who was it? And it's just like, and he realizes that they're just not in there. And I thought it was, so really well set up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like, it was
so that-
funny, but like it was just like the way that they threw it. Like, I don't know. It just seemed like they just like it was like on like a crane or something. They just dropped it so straight, and rather than just like throwing it,
Because
I have my
machinery
problems.
to chuck it.
Monty Python is dumb, and it's like the point.
I feel like
I
the
don't like
characters
it.
could have been better written.
Really?
yeah.
It's
Yeah, because some of the characters feel like one note almost.
the purpose.
That's
That's
the
like the
point
entire
is
point
that
of the
the
movie.
Stupidest thing is
But it-
there was an actual horse in the film, but they did not want to give King Arthur a horse at all. So he's just going around using his hands in this
Coconut.
Yeah, the
They-
Oh
they
my
added
God.
a
Yeah.
bit about
What
like
was
there
it?
being
Yeah,
a coconut
a
that
coconut
they were
they
using
was
to make the
hitting.
noise.
Yeah.
And the entire point was, how did they get a coconut in medieval England? It's not like a
Yeah.
sparrow could bring it in. Coconuts don't migrate.
I thought that part was funny.
Yeah, it was funny, but
coconut
when an
attached
actual
to a
horse
string,
appeared, they just
maybe.
kept dragging it. Like, give this man a horse at this point.
I thought it was a nice little
like the
touch.
beginning bit. I did like the beginning bit.
Like the very beginning where all the subtitles were just like going on like a little
Dude,
spiel
that
about
was
nothing.
Yeah.
that was so annoying. I'm starting the movie and I'm like, okay, there's a little bit of credits. We get like 30 seconds in. I'm like, okay.
Did you not look at the subtitles first time? Neither did I.
I looked
But,
at
you
the
know.
I looked at the big ones that were like the guy in charge of this got fired or whatever.
No, it was the person doing the subtitles has been sacked. And,
Yeah. And then the person who
the
was
person responsible for sacking the ones who've been sacked has been sacked.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly skipped through it.
Really?
Because
Like the entire movie?
No.
The opening
Oh.
scene.
The
with
opening-
subtitles
the
and
credits.
Oh, there was so much. I kind of skipped through it
It's
too. I
like-
couldn't
yeah,
pay
like, it-
attention.
I just wanted to get into the movie, and it just felt like it was dragging on, especially when I don't know how it was back then, but most movies now have it at the end with like maybe a few credits showing up like on the screen a little bit. But it's like it was really like just it took me out of the movie almost.
But
You
that
weren't even in the movie.
like
It can't take you out. It's setting up the movie. That's where
That's-
like, the sense of the
well,
humor
what's
comes
That's
in.
so many movies like that.
But what
Mary
setup was it?
Poppins. I can't think of another one,
Okay, like, how can it
but
take you out of the
Was it,
movie? The very opening
Bad
credits
Words.
Mickey Mouse original
set-
film.
Yes.
Bad
Like,
words.
that was the
Bad
thing
words.
then.
Bad words.
Yeah.
But I just feel like it made you immediately want to turn off the movie just because it like
Why? It makes
To
a-
you.
It makes a succinct and practical way of setting up the sense of humor for the entire film.
Yeah.
It
By
kind of makes you
taking
feel like
this
you're going
very
from
mundane
finish
and
to start.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Nah. It takes this very mundane and concise way of starting a movie and then just makes it absurd for the sake of being absurd. You know, it's just because it makes a
Because,
very
you know,
interesting subversion of how
That's
you
the
would
point
think.
of the movie.
Exactly.
To be weird.
But like for a comedy show, some of the jokes, yeah, they were okay. They weren't like
Nothing were-
everything.
nothing
I like the
but
killer rabbit. The killer rabbit was funny.
that was so dumb. I'm not gonna
It was
lie.
a beast of most monstrous appetite.
That was the most
proportion,
dumbest
and it's just a
scene
little
ever.
rabbit.
I
And
hated
it's
that
just the
scene.
head's a guy.
Like some jokes are memorable, but most of the time you're not. I feel like me personally, if we like ask like a year from now, what do you remember? I think I'll remember maybe one scene, and that's about it. There's nothing really remarkable to me in this movie.
I
This
just
movie is like a cult classic. And
Yeah.
It's a staple of internet culture. Like, and you're calling it unmemorable.
It's
To me,
too
personally,
memorable.
yeah,
even.
to be awesome.
To
because-
you, it's
and then the way
unmemorable.
they made that wizard just like with his staff.
Tim?
Yeah, Tim the wizard.
the
Whatever he wants to go
They
by.
call him Tim.
Yeah, they who call him Tim. Now he's waving around his wand so poorly, like just this, and then like at like
Yeah.
what?
And then the world
fire.
explodes. Fire erupts from
They
its
could've
mouth.
That
done it
was one of my
better.
favorite
Instead of
parts.
it just
Really?
looking like a
Yeah.
whole like someone's just stepping on a landmine. They could make
Yeah.
that better.
But you know, the circumstance of the movie. I mean, it's a pretty old movie, so like
Yeah, I
They
guess.
didn't
Can't
have-
really expect much.
like the
Yeah.
best.
When was it? When
As
was
you
this?
can see.
1975, 85, 75.
70s, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was one of
But
those.
the part where they were running away from the creature in the cave, and it's just like, you know, fully animated sequence, right?
Yeah.
And they get through, all looks bad, and the animator has a heart attack, and then the scene is over.
I loved the like fourth wall breaks.
Yeah.
I'm such like I don't know. I love when like I'm watching a movie and they'll be like, oh, the cameraman.
You could also tell cost was high. They were getting people out that movie because when it came to the bridge part, you can just tell that dude was just giving them like it would start off like easy questions, and then it would go to like a hard question at the end, and they just like.
I
Like,
really like
slow
that
and
scene
fun.
because, you know, at the very end of that scene where, not necessarily Trick, but like the person asking the questions asks something about, you know, how far does a sparrow fly in like a particular time or day or whatever, and then they bring up the fact that he asks, you know, asks a question about it, reverting back to a bit from the previous part of the movie on talking about whether a English sparrow or a African sparrow, and then that trips up the guy answering the questions to where the punishment he's been deriving on other people falls on him, and then he's thrust into the void.
Yeah.
One thing I did like about this movie is the costume design,
Oh, so did I.
because there's like some of the costumes look how you would like typically think of knights from back then.
Yeah.
And then, but when they want to do a unique costume, they execute it perfectly. Because, for example, what's the person with 3 heads?
I don't know. It's
I
just
think
a
I just
person
called
with
3
3 heads.
heads.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about though,
Yeah.
right? How he kind of has like that outfit meant for like
The costume maker was in their bag.
yeah.
I really like the costume design of like the knights that say me.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
just,
they
like,
were so
There's just like a
cute.
bunch of them with little helmets, and then there's just like one really tall one.
Yeah.
And they just ask for like the most mundane thing ever while saying very uninteresting words that strike fear into everybody for no reason.
What did he say? Like he wanted like a
He wanted a shrubbery.
Yeah, shrubbery.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking like garden or something. I forgot. Like,
thought
Well, I
like
mean,
an
it's
actual
And
similar.
then they,
like
like,
a
take,
beat.
and then they take like a 10-minute subplot to just go find a shrub, bring it back to them, and
And they wanted
I
another
loved
one. They
that.
wanted
I loved
more.
that.
exactly like
But they were so
I love
greedy, and then they
shrubbery.
then they
became like
changed
something
their
else.
group
Yeah.
name to the knights who previously said that's like, like a long and completely pointless phrase that they kept saying again.
Could we talk about like the end parts of the movie where the cops showed up and started arresting everyone, and you're
Oh my
looking at
gosh.
the crowd of like 1,000 people,
All dressed
one
in medieval
police,
garb.
2 police cars, like, literally.
Did
Like,
you not understand that?
no, I understood, but it's just like, come on, I didn't
'Cause-
like it.
'cause-
You didn't like it?
No,
I liked
Everybody
it.
gets the joke with that, though.
Yeah,
right?
it's like-
a bit weird to understand, but you know, you have like in the beginning first act, you have the how it cuts to like a documentary style bit where there's just like the historian in the woods talking about like the very things that are going on within the movie, and then you just like horse by killed. You know, by just like random, by like presumably King Arthur just like slashes him on the way throughout the woods, and he dies, right? And then it creates like 2 or 3 different camera shots later on in the movie of them just, you know, trying to find who done it, like if it's a murder case. It all culminates in the last scene where everybody's arrested for it.
Yeah.
So we get that part, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I understood that. I thought that it was. I liked it for like the ending of the movie. I thought it was funny, and it tied stuff together fairly well, but not too well because, you know, Monty Python. And I don't know. I just thought it was. I thought it was funny because it's like, wow, what are they doing here?
Can we just talk about how that one dude was? Who was it? I think it was Lancelot or Robin. One of the 3. Yeah. They wanted to stay in that tower with like the
brothel that looked like a nunnery.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on.
I did that.
That was a weird scene.
Yeah,
that
was
very weird.
Just weird. That was very weird. Like,
yeah, we don't talk about that.
We don't talk about this.
We don't talk about that.
That was like a.
There's a lot of things about that scene I'm pretty sure you cannot say on a school podcast.
Yeah, nope, probably not.
That's a low to a low movie.
That's very not.
So
rated E for everyone.
Do you have any like additional thoughts?
No.
All right, so
what did y'all think about like the plot of the movie at least, or like the pacing or whatnot?
I thought it was bad.
Besides,
It's Monty Python.
Dude,
Like,
oh my gosh.
Right?
Yeah.
there's really nothing. It's
the only thing I can think of with the pacing is like the one bit where they just like call a scene, just like scene 24, right? And then they keep bringing it up as just scene 24. It didn't even have like a name for it or anything. It's just, you know, just.
It's kind of like they like grabbed all the papers and just like threw them on the table. It was like, everybody grab one and then yell it out when I tell you to.
Honestly, though, with this, you know, like the book scene where like the person was flipping through the pages.
Yeah.
If you notice, like the original person flipping through the pages, right, and then they just get got by like some sort of creature, and then the creature is the one flipping through the pages.
Yeah. Oh my god. I thought that was really cool.
The creature, the monster in the cave. Why did he look like that? Why did he look like that? Why did he look like that? Like, the rabbit was not the real creature at that point. Like, I thought it was, but then again, the rabbit does not breathe like that. And then they go into, like, this little thing. They're just running from this, what was it? Like a crab, lobster,
some
monster.
sea animal, dragon,
nematode. He looked terrible. But, like, their art was so good. Like, I love the art. But when it came to, like, drawing things, it, like, for comedy in the movie was terrible. Once again, the monster in the cave. That is my example.
You don't like that scene? I thought it was a pretty funny.
The monster? No, I like the scene. I like the scene. I just don't like how the monster looked.
Really?
I am once again bringing up so bad it's funny. So bad it's funny.
Still so terrible. It's funny.
I don't look bad. It's just funny. It's, you know, it's my kind of humor.
It's more bad. It's more bad than funny.
Yeah, and then I kept expecting like them to like get revenge on like the French, but like I thought after they had like those thousands of people, I thought that they would have had that.
That's the
like,
point. That's what I was supposed to bring up, though.
Yeah, but like.
I mean, they thought about it.
Yeah, like I was really hoping to like see the fall.
Yeah.
But, like no.
But no.
It's an
the cops
it's unconclusive.
Yeah. I really like the French though, like the insult he was slurring at them.
Slurring at them.
Yeah, just your mother was a hamster and your father smelled of elderberry.
Oh, I hate elderberries.
How do you even take that as an insult?
I don't know.
Bro, that came up from his mind. Because you genuinely can't write that down on a piece of paper and just say that. He kept saying them.
Oh my god, that.
I fart in your general direction. know. It's like the dumbest crap ever.
That was what I was about to say. This movie feels like improv. Like the entire thing feels like they're just like making it up as they go along.
I'm actually certain some of them were.
And that's like the funniest thing to me.
So, what would you rate this movie then?
7.5 out of 10.
3.
A 3?
If I want to
Oh my
be
God.
generous.
You thought it was that bad?
If I'm being generous, I'll give it a 5 or 6, but a 3 because I do not like it. It's not in my style. Some of the stuff were dumb. Some of the things I did not like.
I have to agree with a 3 just because, like, a lot of the movie's jokes don't land, and, like, it just hasn't particularly aged well for
Exactly.
me.
Really?
Yeah, it
I
hasn't
thought it
aged
aged
well.
great.
I thought it aged great. Like, you know, it takes, like, a very weird sense of humor for the time and, like, completely matches how the internet is today.
Yeah.
In a succinct and almost
like,
or
honestly, when I first-
way.
Honestly, like when I first literally pulled up the movie to watch it, I was like, is this a movie or is this like somebody just made on YouTube? That's genuinely what I thought it was.
I mean, it just feels like you keep bringing up how, like, it's really grown well with internet culture, but I feel like that shouldn't be a reason a movie ages well. Like, because if
That's the definition of aging well.
Yeah, it matches the sense of humor of today's generations.
but like if you don't have that, does it still age well?
If you
Yes.
watched it.
I
That's how
don't
that
think
works.
it
Yeah,
goes
exactly.
well with the jokes of this generation.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know because I watched it when I was 6. I watched it when I was 13, and I don't know. It's like it's a movie I've seen like a lot of times, and
I think
it's just still like good to me.
I know that makes kind of sense because you tend to act like those nuns every once in a while.
Oh my God.
I think like I think if it's fit for younger people. Like
Is it?
No, it is not at all.
Maybe people
Well, that's
our
okay.
age.
Maybe our age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe teenagers.
Yeah.
Or
There's something
or middle schoolers with no parental guidance.
CJ has been sacked for that comment. We shall not allow him to be on this podcast today.
He won't be back.
Now, finishing up where we left off, you said it was, what rating did you say it was?
I thought that it was a good 7.5.
7.5?
Yeah.
Okay. You said? 3?
3? Yeah, 3.
And the compatriot who shall not be named at once anymore also said it was a 3. Personally, I believe it was a 9. It was a fairly good movie. A lot of the
Generous
jokes
rating.
landed. There was a few things here and there that were particularly off. But other than that, I thought it was a really good movie.
Yeah.
Now, concluding this podcast, thank you for watching CCPS Student Life. I'm Colin Murphy. Catch you guys next time on Now You See Me Too.